Theme park motion simulators now come in all different shapes and styles, each trying to give that realistic feeling of exploration. You even see them at travelling fairs, but it wasn't always that way. My name is Sam, and join us again on Expedition Weekly.
Someday we may be traveling through space on ships just like this Star Speeder, but I'm not sure how soon we'll see commercials for vacations in outer space.
In 1986, the Walt Disney Company purchased 4 huge motion simulator pods, each with the ability to move in multiple different directions. The combination of these pods with synchronized visuals inside the cabin created a realistic flying sensation and was breaking technology for the theme parks. Called the Advanced Technology Leisure Application Simulator, or Atlas, Disney were using flight simulation training equipment to tell a new story. The first 2 implementations of this technology were of course Star Tours and Body Wars, though other rival theme parks were inspired to create their own version of the technology. It was a smaller regional park that would be the next to offer this brand new experience.
This is the old country, now being built by Busch Gardens at Williamsburg, Virginia, near Washington, D.C.
Busch Gardens Williamsburg opened in Virginia in 1975 and became an oddity in the theme park industry. While a seasonal smaller park outside of the main tourist hubs, the park was special. A beautiful landscape greeted guests close by to the historic colonial triangle. Rather than offering a theme to complement the colonial heritage of the area, the park would transport you back to the old country by recreating villages representing England, Scotland, Italy, Germany, and France. It was here, connected to these highly themed environments, that the simulator would find its third home inside a theme park in 1990.
Busch Gardens asks, have you pierced the Earth's core lately? Plunged on a raging waterfall recently? Slalomed in midair through a densely packed forest of late? No? Then come to Busch Gardens. We'll do our best to spice up your travel plans. Pierce, plunge, slalom on the new Questor now at Busch Gardens. Where it's going, you've never been.
Located in an area of the park then known as Hastings after the area in the south of England, within a medieval-style village of towers and tournament tents, was a brand new ride. Questor. Named after a steampunk-style velocity vehicle with a large influence of Jules Verne, you will be taking a flight on a mix of an airship and submarine. The story would whisk guests off in search of the ancient and powerful Crystal of Zed. Piloted by an 800-year-old gnome, Alwyn, you broke through the Amethyst Mountains, dived through underwater worlds complete with tropical fish, and of course ended with a freefall to acquire the crystal itself. The scenes were filmed using a mixture of miniatures and real-life locations to create a mashup of different locations to visit on your quest. Or 1 year after opening in 1991, the park added new effects to enhance the experience with increased motion and a few new encounters throughout the film. After opening, the ride was a huge hit and a great use of the relatively new technology. Just 1 year later, in 1991, the ride was cloned and opened at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. The Williamsburg ride, though, had only operated for a short 5 years before closing in 1995. It was rebuilt as a new simulator telling the fables of King Arthur, opening the following year in 1996. A slightly better fit for the park's Hastings theme. Using early uses of CGI, King Arthur's Challenge was a huge failure throughout and was a poor replacement for the now much-loved Questor. This time the story consisted of guests being miniaturized by Merlin and sent to recover Excalibur from an evil knight's castle. When the park opened for the 2001 season, the medieval village of Hastings was no more. Instead, the first new country added to the park in over 2 decades, Ireland. The village of Killarney, to be exact, offering a new feel of magic. New offerings of entertainment, pubs and food were among the experiences waiting for guests, as well as a re-themed simulator. The experience no longer represented a medieval castle, but now the ruins of a castle in Ireland.
What the devil is in there?
Got me, Paddy, but it's alive, that's for sure.
Give us a match then. Whoa.
This time you queued through a cavern full of ancient ruins before the pre-show, inside the lantern-lit ruins of the castle. There you would meet Old Man McTavish.
So, did Clancy send you? Or maybe that crazy tinker in the wagon? Well, if you're the ones that are wanting to see some magical beasties, I don't recommend it highly. Mark me words, you buck-eyed tourists. There's some nasty creatures round about the moors and glades of old Ireland, and if you're weak of heart or stomach, you're better off over in that Frenchy town down the road.
Ending up with you once again shrunk down to miniature size before heading off on your journey through Ireland, on this 4.5 minute long attraction, meeting trolls, witches, fairies, and much more.
What have you got there, you little urchins?
While the ride used the exact same technology as previously, a new theme and movie did the attraction wonders, and once again the park had a huge hit. It had succeeded in transporting you to a magical new world within the park, exactly what Busch Gardens Williamsburg was special for.
Ah, true friends. I don't reckon Paddy and Fenton will ever forget this night.
And I'm hoping the same goes for you. So long, and may the luck of the Irish always be with you.
The same year though that Corkscrew Hill opened, Disney had once again been pushing new boundaries with its new simulator, Sauron. Instead of offering thrilling over-the-top action sequences, it offered a peaceful and majestic experience. Almost instantly, ride creators wanted to create their own version of this attraction. New similar experiences opened all around the world, and another was coming to Busch Gardens. Corkscrew Hill operated for its final season in 2009. The fourth simulator inside the building would be Europe in the Air, opening during the park's 35th anniversary in 2010, once again reusing that 1990s technology.
This weekend, my family and I took a trip to Europe.
This weekend?
Lights! We saw the great cities of Europe, flew high over Big Ben, zoomed around Paris, and flew so low over the Colosseum I could almost touch it.
Russell, you really didn't do all that in one weekend, did you?
Nope, we did it all in under 5 minutes.
Europe in the Air, a high-flying adventure.
While all of the previous versions would have an aspect of magic within them, Europe in the Air did not. You still entered through the Irish Castle Tower, but now a sign was outside stating flights were departing now. The queue was still a long ancient hallway, but this time airport-style lights have been attached.
It feels like you're flying over some of the great landmarks in Europe. You'll soar over the Colosseum in Rome. You'll soar over London Bridge. You'll get down on the ground and go through the terrain in Paris and hit a lot of other European landmarks along the way.
The pre-show in the same room had been painted blue and was hosted by Miles O'Skye.
Right, now we don't have much time and that's the way we like it. You'll be taken to the skies today in one of our spacious Slipstream 3000 air sleds, a state-of-the-art auto-navigation aircraft that flies so fast that, well, you won't feel that jet lag until next week.
An air traffic controller who was apparently Irish, connecting it to the Ireland theme of the land, who introduced us to our air sled, able to rocket from country to country to see the landmarks of Europe. This time with fans blowing in your face though, very high tech. The ride featured odd transitions, odd theming, and a flawed experience. Essentially a worse version of Sauron without the wraparound screen and hanging aspect. Although opening in 2010, the ride already closed midway through 2013 as a cost-cutting measure, reopening in 2014 before closing for good with the end of the 2016 season. Once again, the attraction within this building would be getting yet another new version, and this time it seemed to be tying into the legends of Ireland.
Honey, it's time to get going! Tell me what you want.
I can do it on my own. That's why they call me.
Are you ready?
You are ready.
The other world needs a warrior. Join in the battle for Eire, the new action VR ride.
Reusing the entrance and corridor minus the airport lights, the new attraction at least attempted something new. In fact, the first use of virtual reality on a motion simulator ride within North America. One issue with VR rides is the load times, but Busch Gardens created a unique helmet system to help improve this. Similar to wearing a hard hat, they tightened at the back, and once inside the theatre, the VR headset is attached to this helmet via magnets. This time we're taken through the story by Addie, who is the last remaining fairy in a world, and joining her to save the corrupted fairies within within the otherworld, inspired by Irish folklore and showcasing landmarks such as Giant's Causeway. Interestingly, the ride system inside is mostly unchanged, and for those uninterested in the VR aspect, the movie is also shown on the screen inside, which is a nice touch. The story and action is happening all around you as you're immersed into the environment. It's an immersive ride that again fits into the surrounding area and a large improvement on what was located there before it. The new ride even features some Easter eggs from the previous attractions within the building, including some items from Questor, Europe in the Air, and Corkscrew Hill. This 360 degrees experience can offer something new each time you ride it. The Busch parks have a troubled history with dark rides, and this is one that has gone through cycles of being good and bad. Not the only time the park has taken incredible groundbreaking technology and tried to create something different. Questor was a take on Star Tours, Europe in the Sky, Sauron, and finally, this time the park has tried something unique. Will this attraction still be around in 10 years to create the longest standing attraction in the building? This time it depends if the park will invest to keep this fast moving VR technology up to date or just again let it fall behind. Oh, and what happened to the copy of Questor that opened down in Tampa? Well, that is another story by itself.
Hello, my tourist friends. I am Akbar. He's a tour guide for a new adventure ride.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Expedition Weekly. Which version of the ride inside did you enjoy the most, and which ones did you even ride? Make sure to let us know in the comments below, and we will see you next time.